Hi everybody. So today I'm going to talk to you about what you can do with linking inside of a Google Slides presentation to make it more interactive for students or just more useful for you as a teacher. So let's go take a look. So this is just one example of a Google Slides presentation that I have created for my students to practice some coordinate points. And so this works really good in slideshow mode or present mode, but you can kind of see what's going on behind the scenes. So this is a background. So what I did is I created all these slides in Google or in PowerPoint. And then if I go here, I did change background and it's an image. So that's the image placed in the background of the slide. Then what I did on top of the slide is I inserted text boxes. So if I were to create a text box, it looks like that. Actually, I'm going to take that back. I did not insert text boxes. I inserted shapes because they'll hold your shape better where a text box won't. And then I made this, if you make it white, it will still cover the words. So you make it transparent so you can see through it. And then I make the border transparent as well. So now it looks like nothing's there, but now that it's a shape on your slide, you can link it to other places in the presentation. So you can go up here to insert link, or you can do Control K on your keyboard. And now this is really cool. So obviously you can link it to a website. So I could type in google.com and then I hit apply and it'll take me to a website. So if I'm doing a web quest activity where I'm taking kids outside of the presentation to complete something and then they come back to the presentation to like submit their final answers or something like that, I can link it to those slides. Or I can remove that link and I can link again, and this is my favorite. You can go to the next slide, the first slide, or previous slide, last slide, or you can pick a specific number. As you can see, this is quite a large presentation. So that's what I've done here. I'm going to delete that, but it says click here to begin. It's going to go to the next slide because the next slide has question 1 on it. So I go to the next slide, and then each of these are linked, whether it's correct or incorrect. So this coordinate point happens to be in quadrant 4, so this is going to go to a slide that says you are correct, where these are going to go to slides that say you're incorrect. So if I do that, for example, whoops, that's not correct, I can go back to the original problem, or I can click on the other one, which I'll show you in a minute. So if I click this one, still not correct, I can go to get help with the problem, and there actually happens to be some like explanation behind these, and then you can go back to where you left off. Then if you get the right answer, it will tell you great work, and then click here to continue on to the next problem. I like that great work in there to help students realize like, oh, they did it right. That's why they're moving on. It wasn't just a fluke. So that is kind of something cool about this. Now, I like using next slide and previous slide as much as possible because what happens with these links, if you add in a slide in between two existing slides, then there's a chance that your links are now incorrect. So if you have it linking to slide 6 and you insert one above the slide, that slide 6 is now slide 7, and you have to shift all of your links down one. By doing the previous and next slide wherever possible, that is avoided because if you add one in, the next slide is still the next slide. So that's kind of a cool way to do that. Now, you can still do all the individual slide numbers, but then those special options are just next, previous, first, and last. So first slide is really cool if you have like choice board, and so then they're going back and forth from that starting choice board to all the activities. You can have everything going back to that first slide, and then last slide is really good if you're having students like finish something and they go to the end and it says congratulations, you're done. So that's kind of a cool thing. Now, one complaint I've seen is that when students go into present mode, Then when they click on the slide in general, it moves them to the next slide, even though they didn't click on one of the options that you put in there. One way to avoid that is, let me get out of here. One way to kind of like work around that is to insert a shape around the whole back. So if I insert a shape on the whole back, and I make it transparent, and I make their no border transparent also. Then what I can do is, this is slide 8, so I can link this to slide 8. So that means when you click anywhere in the background now, you're going to be sent to the exact same slide you're already on. So you're not going to go anywhere. Now, a little problem with that is, if you look, I can't click on these individual boxes anymore. What you have to do is you have to change the order. You have to send this to the back. So then this is all the way in the back, and then these two are on top of it. So when I go to slideshow mode, if I click back here, it's staying. But if I click here, then it can still override that. Now, I don't always put that in there, but that's partly because I'm working with secondary students, and I usually have a handout with these. So they aren't just relying on the Google Slide presentation. But if you had younger students, then that might be something that you might consider doing and worry about more often. So I'm going to actually take that off. But if you're interested in a workaround for that, that's how you would do that. Okay, so now that you've seen a little bit about Google Slides and the linking options, I want to talk about a little bit more about the other capabilities for this. So I know this is great for the type of work I just showed you with the interactive presentation, but what can also be great for is teacher organization. So say you have your agenda slides or your warm-ups in a big Google Slides presentation. What you can do on the first or second page or second slide of the presentation is you can actually link to the individual dates. So maybe you have each week has their own slide. Then you could link on the first page to each of the individual slides, so you don't have to scroll through your entire presentation over and over again. Another option might be if you use Google Slides for your students and you say, okay, today we're going to do a Desmos activity. What you can do is you can put the link to the Desmos activity in the slide itself, and then even though it sends them out of the activity to do it, then everything is housed in one spot. It's great for keeping you organized, and it's also great for future years. You have everything all together. You don't have to go figure out what Desmos activity that was. It's right in your presentation. So I hope that inspired you to kind of look back into making links between slides and to outside resources in Google Slides. I have some awesome scavenger hunts in the works that use Google Slides, so I'll be excited to walk you through one of those and how I linked that in a future video. So stay tuned for that. I hope you have a great day. Please like, subscribe, and share if you found this video helpful, and send more people our way as we elevate our math classrooms together and give students more feedback on their work. I hope you have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you soon.